Everything you do in influencer marketing, the research, the vetting, the outreach, the negotiations, the contracts, you're just doing it to get here, the content. This is the fun part. This is the creative part. It's what makes influencer marketing different from every other channel. And it's also where most brands completely blow it. I'm Jackie, co-founder of Amplify Influencer. I've managed over 4,000 influencer partnerships. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the full content workflow, how to brief creators in a way that actually gets you good content, how to review and give feedback without killing the relationship, and how to store and reuse your content so every partnership keeps working long after the post goes live. So let's get into it. Most brands skip this step entirely. It's the reason their influencer content underperforms. Before I write a single word of a brief, I get on a call with the creator. And the first thing I do is not talk about the product at all. I ask them about their experience with it, because that's where the best content comes from. Not from my talking points, but from their actual aha moment. When a creator has a real story about your product, something they experienced, something that shifted for them, that's where their audience connects. That's what makes the content feel authentic instead of sponsored. And you will never find that in a brief you wrote yourself. So the conversation comes first. I ask things like, what has your experience been like so far? What have you noticed since using our product? Is there a specific moment that stands out? Once I understand their experience, we start talking about the angle. What's the most natural way to bring this into their content? What format actually fits how they create? I had a campaign where the brand's one insight was our videos perform best when filmed outdoors. That's all I had going into that call. So I mentioned that to the creator and she got super excited. She goes out on the lake to paddleboard all the time. And our product was actually making it safer for her to be out on the water. She filmed herself on her paddleboard on her lake. Amazing video, one of our top performers for that brand. That idea didn't come from my brief. It came from her story. That's why the conversation comes first. Once we have the angle locked, the brief is easy because we've already done the hard part together. Don't start with the brief. Start with the question. What was your experience with this product? Content writes itself from there. So once you've had the conversation, the brief is a written confirmation of what you agreed on. It is not a script. It is not a wish list. It is a short reference document. My brief has 6 parts. 1, the agreed hook and angle. This is a specific angle you develop together on the call, not a generic suggestion, the actual thing that you both got excited about. 2, 3 to 4 talking points, not a script. If you find yourself writing full sentences you want them to say, stop. It has to be talking points, so you need to keep them very short. 3, what not to say. Any legal guardrails, compliance requirements, competitor mentions to avoid. FTC disclosures are non-negotiable. And depending on the category, you might have FDA considerations or other regulations too. This section exists so the creator knows where the lines are without feeling policed. 4, the posting deadline. 5, the CTA. And this one depends completely on your campaign goal. If you want brand awareness and conversation, a video with a call to discuss in the comments. If you want traffic to your website, and with an offer or a discount code. If you have an exclusive resource for their audience, use ManyChat to distribute it through comments. The CTA is not a one-size-fits-all. Know your KPI before you write that brief. 6 is the logistics, the UTM, the discount code, required hashtags, and whether this is going to be a collab post. Put all of this right in the brief email so the creator has everything in one place when they go to post, not in a separate message 3 days later. That's it. It fits in an email body. If it doesn't fit in an email body, it's too long. Now, the brief looks different depending on the platform. A YouTube brief is more detailed. You're building a 10 to 20 minute video. There's more structure, more story arc. The hook really matters because average watch time on YouTube means people drop off early if you don't earn their attention. An Instagram or TikTok brief is shorter. These are 30 to 90 seconds. You need one strong hook, one clear message, one CTA. That's the whole video. If you try to shove too many points into a reel, it'll just feel forced, unnatural, and it won't perform. A stories brief is different again. Stories are more casual, more in the moment. The bar for production is much lower. The authenticity is higher. So I like to leave these more open-ended since it's really where the creator and the audience connect, and it should really be the influencer's language. One more thing on the format. The brief can live in a doc, but keep it to 1 page maximum. You want it to look clean and professional, something that the creator can glance at and get oriented, not a giant wall of text. In Amplify, we store the brief directly in the creator's profile. So when their video comes in and I'm sitting down to review it, The brief is right there next to me. I'm not digging through email threads to remember what we agreed on. And it's the same for the creator. When they upload their video, they can also see the brief there. So stick to a short brief, agreed angle, clear CTA, tied to your actual goal. That's the entire brief framework. The creator just sent you their video. Here's exactly how I review it, and the order matters more than you think. So the video comes in. Here's my review process. First, watch it as a viewer. No checklist, no notes. I'm watching the hook. Does it grab me in the first 3 seconds? I'm watching the content itself. Does it feel like their normal content, or does it feel like an ad? Is it engaging? Does it flow? And I'm checking that the product integration fits naturally. That first watch is a pure gut reaction. Then I check the practical stuff. Are the core talking points covered? Not word for word, but in their own language. Does the product use match how it's supposed to be used? And I want to be super specific about that last one because it is more common than you think. I have gotten videos of products being used upside down, backwards, in the wrong context. For safety and health products, this is especially critical. If someone is demonstrating your product incorrectly, it's not just a brand problem, it can be a credibility problem and potentially a liability. Check this every time. Then I check compliance, FTC disclosure. Is it there and is it clear? For health products, are all the claims they're making within what's allowed? Brand guidelines, anything that's off limits. Then I note everything, and I mean everything. I don't send the feedback as I go. I watch the whole video, I make my notes, and then before I send anything to the influencer, I organize it. Here's where the effort to impact framework comes in. Everything I notice, I sort into 2 buckets. Must change. The hook is weak, the video won't get views. The product is being used or described factually incorrect. There's a compliance issue, FTC, FDA, brand guidelines. These go in the feedback to the creator, full stop. Easy edits also go to the creator. A caption tweak, a B-roll addition, swapping a product shot. These are low effort for the creator and worth sending. And B-roll suggestions are often the smartest way to fix something, way less disruptive than asking for a full reshoot. And the result is usually just as good. What you don't want to send is anything that would require a reshoot over a preference. Word choice, minor phrasing, things that deviate slightly from the brief but don't actually affect the message or the performance. Those go into your notes for the next brief, not this email. A team member once wanted to send feedback because a creator said sugar when they were supposed to be talking about carbs. Same idea, doesn't change the message. On YouTube, fixing that means a reshoot. This would add at least 4 to 5 days. Speed and efficiency are essential in influencer campaigns. So you want to make sure to focus on things that actually move the needle. I told her, note it, update the next brief. Don't block this video from going live over a synonym. And then there's the flip side. I once reviewed a 15-minute long-form YouTube video that I personally found so boring. It was a deep educational talking head video. Nothing dynamic. We paid $30,000 for it, and the ROAS was through the roof. Why? Because we knew before we booked him that his audience converted. We'd been running YouTube ads to his audience, and they were performing really well. We knew the match was there. His audience showed up, and his audience showed up specifically for that deep educational format. If I had sent feedback pushing for something more exciting by my taste, I would have broken the exact thing that made it work. One more thing on review, it's watch time. Know the average watch time for the creator on that platform. Because if your product integration happens at the 10-minute mark of a 12-minute video, but their average viewer drops off at minute 7, most people are not going to get to it. That placement matters. It's not just about the content, it's about where in the video the content lands. Now, before I send a single word to the creator, I do one more thing. I gather feedback from everyone who needs to weigh in, whether it's a brand manager, legal, creative, VP marketing, whoever has a stake in this. Because if I send feedback first and then legal comes back 2 days later with their notes, I'm sending a second email. That looks disorganized, it's unprofessional, and it creates more back and forth than necessary. So the rule is internal feedback first, then consolidate it into a message to the creator. I find bullet points really help. When I'm ready to send it, I use the compliment sandwich. I start with what's genuinely working, then give them the feedback organized by priority and listed in bullet points to make it easy to read. And then I close with something positive. Creators put real creative work into this. That needs to be acknowledged before they hear what needs to change. The goal is one clear email, not a thread, not a Slack message followed by an email followed by a voice message. One message, everything they need, organized so they know exactly what to do. In practice, getting all of that internal feedback together before hitting send is harder than it sounds. Someone's always in a meeting. Someone sends their notes after you've already sent the email. That's the problem we solve in Amplify. The video lives in one place. The team leaves feedback in that private internal thread right on the asset. And nothing goes to the creator until you're ready to send it all at once. Version 1, version 2, version 3, all of them are stacked up visibly. No more confusion about which one's the actual final version. So when giving feedback, remember, watch it as a viewer first, then check your list. Gather everyone's internal notes before you send anything, and then send one organized message to the creator. That's the standard. The moment you hit approve on an influencer's video, that content becomes a business asset. Here's how to treat it like one. When I approve a piece of content in Amplify, it flows directly into the Content Hub. Usage rights and tags attached, not in a separate step. It doesn't live in a Google Drive folder organized by creator name, where someone will spend 30 minutes just to find it 6 months later. I know because that was my life before we built this. In the Content Hub, everything is filterable by creator, by format, by product, by campaign, by content type. If someone needs a reel about gut health from a creator with outdoor content, I can pull that up like this. Every asset links back to the creator's profile. So if I want more content from that creator, I can message them directly from the profile. But here's the piece that most people completely miss: repurposing. Influencer content doesn't stop being valuable when the campaign ends. Your best performing videos can be run as paid ads. Clips can be used on your brand's social. The content can live in email campaigns, on landing pages, in pitch decks. One partnership, one video. That piece of content can work for you for months. The question is just, do you still have rights for it? Because usage right expiration is where brands get into real trouble. Not intentionally, just because no one is tracking it. I have seen brands running influencer content they no longer have the legal right to use. Opening each contract individually to check is not a system, it's a time bomb. You need to know at a glance what you can use and for how long. In Amplify, usage rights are tracked right in the Content Hub alongside the piece of content. So before you repurpose anything, you can see exactly what you're authorized to do and when that authorization expires. It makes your influencer content library actually usable, not just a storage location. So the flow is, you approve the content, it lands in the hub with tags and rights attached. And from there, your whole team can find it, use it, and know when they need to stop using it. That's how you make influencer content work long after the post goes live. Approve it, tag it, know your rights. Influencer content is an asset. Most brands treat it like a post that expires. The ones who win treat it like a library that keeps on giving. So that's the full content workflow. Start with a conversation, their experience, their aha moment, the angle you developed together. Write a short brief that confirms what you agreed on. Review the content with a viewer's eye first, then your checklist. Give feedback that organized by what actually needs to change versus what's just a preference. And when you approve it, treat that content like the asset it is. If you want to try Amplify, there's a free trial, no credit card needed. The link is in the description. See you in the next one.